Hiya everyone, and welcome to this webinar training. My name is Emma Robertson, and today we are going to be talking about a very popular NSP UK product called Nutri-Calm. And as the name suggests, Nutri-Calm is the key system product for the nervous or stress response system. The nervous system refers to the intricate relationship between the brain, our glands, and of course the many nerves which run throughout our body. And it is the nervous system responses which determine how we physiologically and psychologically experience and adapt to stress. Now, before we take a closer look at the nervous system, I think it's really important for us to understand this thing that is stress, because it is a word that is thrown around a lot these days, and that doesn't come with any surprise because we do live in a much more heightened, stressful, busy, and unfortunately toxic environment. So stress actually comes in vast and various forms, but in fact the acute and the chronic or long-term responses or reactions to stress within the body are actually the same no matter what the stress stimulus is. Feeling nervous, feeling anxious and depressed, being short-tempered, all these things are signs that the mind and the body are under pressures or what we would term stress. So basically stress is a perceived physiological or psychological demand, and that can be on the body or on the mind. So it's a disruption of our metabolic balance. But stress can be physical and mechanical, i.e. pain and dysfunctions in our body's mechanics, which can cause stress on the body. Of course, psychological and emotional, which are probably the two main types of stress we're all familiar with. Things that can cause these kind of stresses might be relationship issues, job security and stability, or financial issues. All these sorts of things can raise our stress response in the body. So, as I say, no doubt you have heard the term stress being thrown around in multiple ways, multiple times a day these days. And this is because, as unfortunate as it is, stress has simply just become an acceptable, normal part of daily life. But what most people fail to realize and understand is just how detrimental stress is to our long-term health. In fact, it really is something that we must be educating and warning people about and teaching people about in terms of how to deal with stress, and most importantly, how to best nourish the body to help combat some of the physiological and psychological effects. And here's why this is really important. There was a study that came out in 2002, published in the British Medical Journal, and it showed that people who reported persistent stress due to high work demands, low job security, or fewer career opportunities had the same level of risk for fatal heart attack as people who smoked and who did not do any exercise. Now, this is an incredibly important fact to know because in reality, we are warned constantly about the risk of inactivity, the risk of smoking, the risk of poor diet choices, and how, of course, these can all lead to heart disease and diabetes and other chronic conditions. But we're not warned and taught about how stress can actually do exactly the same things to us. And the reason stress has such an influence on poor health down the track is because of the chronic physiological changes it induces and how much it draws down on our nutrition and steals vital nutrients from us. Nutrition has a huge role to play in the mitigation of the stress effects within the body. Of course, we need to be eating a wealth of healthy, nutritious foods, but also the nutrients that are concentrated in Nature's Sunshine's Nutri-Calm product are in optimal quantities and an optimal formulation to help support the nervous system, particularly in times of heightened nervous activity. You see, the stress response is actually part of what we call our autonomic nervous system. And the autonomic nervous system is split into two sides, if you like. One side is what we call the sympathetic nervous system, and the other side is the para or opposing sympathetic nervous system. The most important thing to understand about these two sides of the autonomic nervous system is that when one is activated, the other side is automatically suppressed. So if you imagine like a seesaw, one side of that autonomic nervous system can never be heightened at the same time as the other. If one is working actively, the other is suppressed. And homeostasis is essentially a place of equilibrium. When this is reached, we know that the two sides of the autonomic nervous system are fairly equal and balancing each other out. So the sympathetic nervous system is basically what determines or drives our stress response. And it is the opposite to the parasympathetic nervous system, which actually dictates how our body rests, relaxes, and really importantly, how it digests food and assimilates nutrition. Now, as part of the autonomic nervous system, we also have the ENS, or the enteric nervous system. This is also really important to understand when we're looking at stress because of how it implicates so heavily our digestive system. The enteric nervous system connects straight to the gut, which actually explains the connection between stress and digestive upset. We're all very familiar with the fact that when we're nervous or anxious or excited, we feel it in our stomach. But of course, the connection between the perception of stress in the brain and the gut via the enteric nervous system reaches far greater than just having butterflies in the stomach, because stress can indeed be one of the main underlying causes of irritable bowel syndrome. And when people have chronic IBS, this can lead to nutritional insufficiencies and then feeds the cycle of stress contributing to low nutrient levels and vice versa. So when the sympathetic nervous system, or the stress response, is heightened, the parasympathetic nervous system, which governs resting, relaxing, and digesting, is going to be suppressed. At the same time, the enteric nervous system, which connects straight to the gut, will be heightened with the stress. And this really explains why stressed people have trouble eating, trouble with appetite, they'll have trouble resting and sleeping. They will have trouble trying to relax and meditate because their system is so heavily driven towards stress in that time. So the implications of stress on the digestive system are in fact twofold. Firstly, the suppression of the rest and digest functions of our body, and secondly, the activation of the sympathetic nervous system. The stress response will greatly increase the stimulus for stress hormone production, such as cortisol and adrenaline. This in turn drains the body of really important nutrient reserves, especially our B vitamins, vitamin C, and vital minerals, including magnesium. So at this point, I would just like to take a moment to explain why Nature's Sunshine's magnesium product would be a highly valuable addition to the Nutri-Calm product as a combination for stressed individuals. You see, magnesium is one of our key minerals that is integral to hundreds of metabolic processes. It's implicated in healthy sleep patterns, in blood sugar control, in healthy hormone balance. It's implicated in generating cellular energy, digestive health, as well as the natural detoxification pathways within the liver. Many people who suffer with chronic stress get to a point of extreme fatigue, so magnesium can be incredibly beneficial at this point. See, magnesium is also often referred to as a spark of life, and this is because of its role in energy production. Unfortunately, magnesium insufficiency is really common, which makes it one of the more important minerals to supplement with on a daily basis. We know that mineral insufficiencies will impair many different metabolic processes and, in this case, seriously affect their body's ability to physiologically combat and deal with stress. So let's now just take a quick look at the stress response so you can start to understand why we actually get such depletions of nutrients and therefore how Nutri-Calm can really be of assistance. So we all have something called the HPA axis, or the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which describes the cascade of sequential hormone reactions that take place in every instance of a perceived stress. So the brain perceives from either an internal or external source of information coming into the hypothalamus that a stressful situation is present, whether it be a physical stress, a mental, or an emotional stress. The hypothalamus's response to the stress is always the same. The hypothalamus is a part of the brain which essentially connects the nervous system with that of the endocrine or the hormonal system. And it is the detection of a stress by the hypothalamus that sends hormonal messengers to the adrenal glands to react or compensate physiologically for the stress. And it does this via the pituitary gland, which is also situated in the brain. So the sequence of hormonal signals are as follows. The hypothalamus detects a stress. At this point, it is stimulated to produce cortico-releasing hormone. This hormone then talks to the pituitary gland, telling it to now produce adrenocorticotropic hormone, and this is the hormone that stimulates the adrenal glands to eventually produce cortisol. Cortisol, you may be familiar with, is one of the main stress hormones within the body. And it is this hormone that causes the number of physiological and metabolic changes that occur in times of stress. These include the raising of blood pressure, the raising of blood sugars, and the calming of inflammatory processes. So in a normal and balanced situation, cortisol would actually carry out its functions very successfully. The stress would be dealt with or omitted somehow, and then there would be a feedback to the hypothalamus that the stress has gone away, and this stops the excitation of the HPA axis. The body returns to a normal state of balance, and everything goes back to metabolic harmony. But in times of chronic stress, which is basically a situation that everyone experiences now more often than we should, we see that the hormonal and metabolic changes occurring because of stress are in constant surge. And this is the very reason why we see stress contributing to things like fatal heart attack and other diseases, as shown in that study earlier. You see, cortisol raises our blood sugar levels, and whenever we have heightened blood sugar, we also get increases in the hormone insulin. Now, excess production of insulin and also the yo-yoing production of insulin due to yo-yoing blood sugar levels can lead to the development of type 2 diabetes over time. Increased cortisol can also stimulate unwanted weight gain and obesity, particularly around the midsection of the body. This in itself will increase the risk of type 2 diabetes and, of course, heart disease. Adrenaline is another stress hormone which is produced by the adrenal glands. It's usually produced in more acute stages of stress, but what we see happening in chronic stress, as our cortisol levels get used excessively and start to fatigue and tire out, the body will try and compensate for this by producing more adrenaline. And increased adrenaline levels can lead to feelings of increased anxiety, nervousness, and even panic, leading to panic attacks. So all in all, it is not surprising that we see increased blood pressure on a whole as part of acute and chronic stress. So all of these physiological changes, both short and long term, demand a huge amount of energy production from the body, and this in itself is very depleting on our vitamin and mineral levels. So hence a stressed body can and will become very fatigued and insufficiently nourished. When people are feeling extremely tired, mixed with feelings of also being quite wired and anxious, this is a key sign that their HPA axis is working overtime. Other symptoms include poor sleeping patterns and other hormonal imbalances that may be detected. So what then can we do nutritionally to help support this situation, to help support a stressed body? Well, of course, good daily nutrition is absolutely key, and this includes natural foods that deliver a wide range of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. Antioxidants we will gain mostly through fruits and vegetables, B vitamins through organic animal products, green vegetables and seafood. And it's also important to note that a stressed individual may feel much better eating little and often because of the likelihood of their digestive system being disturbed. Remembering the connection of the enteric nervous system, which connects our stressed brain to our gut. It's then also really important to target nutrients for stressed individuals. Many people actually feel benefit from taking in B vitamin supplementation, as well as certain herbs and botanicals that naturally help to assist a sense of calm within the body. And this is where Nutri-Calm really steps up to the mark. NSP UK's Nutri-Calm is a natural vitamin, mineral and herbal support for stressed people. It has been specifically formulated to give additional nutritional support during these times of physical and emotional stress. It helps to replenish the vitamins that are easily depleted, including B vitamins and vitamin C. These nutrients are, of course, abundant in many whole foods, but so often destroyed by modern farming techniques and harvesting practices, and of course in the cooking and processing of foods. Hence why a supplement in these stressful times is really beneficial. So not surprisingly, Nature's Sunshine's Nutri-Calm covers a wide range of B vitamins, which are our energy vitamins. B vitamins help our body to release and use energy from food. They help to support the normal functioning of the nervous system, helping to maintain balance in our brain chemicals and our neurotransmitters, and all in all, simply support the body in times of stress. Nutri-Calm offers really great levels of vitamins B1 through to B12, with particular emphasis on vitamins B3, B5 and B6 because of the integral roles that these specifically play in nervous system health. It also contains vitamin C, which again is needed for energy production. It's important for immunity and of course provides powerful antioxidant protection against free radical damage, which of course increases with increased stress. Vitamin C nourishes our adrenal glands, which produce adrenaline, cortisol, and other stress hormones. And finally, the immune system, which is very often suppressed in times of stress, is heavily supported by the activity of vitamin C. And finally, Nutri-Calm contains the herb chamomile for relaxation. Herbalists have used chamomile for centuries to help people who need to relax. German chamomile is the specific type of herb used in the Nutri-Calm product, and this has been used historically in teas to help the body feel a sense of calm and again relax. You probably by now have a very clear picture in your head as to who can actually benefit from taking the Nutri-Calm product in times of increased stress, pressure and emotional upset. And these people of course include those undergoing chronic stressful times, who may have experienced the death of a loved one or the end of a relationship, who may be amidst family issues and stresses or work and financial stresses. Really helpful for busy individuals, those people that just don't seem to ever get a minute to themselves, or they're kind of burning the candle at both ends, spinning a lot of plates and have a lot on the go. Great for individuals who have a risk of vitamin B12 insufficiency, so for example, vegetarians and vegans. And finally, people that just feel edgy and have an inability to relax, who may have trouble sleeping just because of general stresses of life. All of these people can find benefit from the natural nutritional support of the nutrients provided by Nutri-Calm. And a recommended dose of Nutri-Calm for these individuals is to take 1 tablet 3 times a day with food. So in summary, the nervous system refers to the intricate relationship between the brain, our glands, and the many nerves that run throughout our body. It is the nervous system's responses which determine how we physiologically experience and deal with stress. And stress, as we know, comes in vast and various forms. But the acute and chronic physiological reactions to stress within the body are the same no matter what the stress stimulus. So Nutri-Calm can provide a range of B vitamins, vitamin C, and the herb chamomile, all of which collectively are recognized for supporting overall body health, but especially beneficial for the support of the nervous system. So that concludes today's training on NSP UK's key system product for the nervous system, Nutri-Calm. We hope you found this information useful, and we look forward to speaking with you next time.